welcome. Today is Wednesday, the 18th of December. It's also my birthday, so I am incredibly excited to be here live with all of you guys. Sharing this time with the IO Nation, IO community. Thank you all, first of all, for joining. We have, of course, our very, very special guests. We have Gaurav, who many of you know, and many of you have even met because Gaurav was at IBW. So he met some of the folks from the Indian community. I can see one of them here is Pulkit. So thank you all so much for coming there, interacting with us, meeting us in person. We love these types of interactions. We also have Tarsif, who, as I mentioned, is managing all of our exciting partnerships that you guys are always seeing. So very, very cool to have you all here. We have Maher. For those of you who haven't met Maher, he is our Chief Experience Officer, works on all of the incredible designs that you guys are seeing for the IO brand. So give these guys a like, a follow. They post really cool content, of course, on their own individual Twitter accounts that may give you certain insights that you're looking for. Please do engage with these guys. There's so much more content that not only we're sharing on the main IO channel, but of course individually as well. So with that being said, super excited to get started. Today's AMA is, of course, really interesting. We haven't done like a community-centric AMA in a while because we've had so many partnerships and so many cool like conversations, thought leadership, roundtables going on. But with that being said, I know that many of you have had some really burning questions. And so we've collected all of these questions, of course. Thank you so much for sending these in. There's some really great questions here, from tech to partnerships to future plans and so much more. So I'm just going to get started on these questions. Let's start with some of the future plans, right? We're coming to the end of the new year. And a lot of people are asking what's in store for 2025. So I'm going to start with Gaurav. Gaurav, it's been an eventful year for IO. Wow, look how much we've accomplished. It's been so incredibly exciting. Just looking back, it's unfathomable to see how far we've come. But what would you like to see, or where would you like to see IO sort of this time next year by the end of 2025?
So by the end of the next year, my vision is basically to have IO as a single stop shop for AI, meaning anything you want to do as a product on the AI side, that particular product would be there on IO. For example, we already have GPUs, we already have clusters. Going forward, what we'll have is have the whole software stack where you can come, create models, deploy models. Uh, we'll have a product which we call IO Inventory, IO Intelligence, sorry, where we would give a lot of models which are there in the public to be given to people. We will be investing our time in distributed and decentralized storage also, right? We'll be working going forward on the networking side is also. So anything which you want to work and need as a decentralized product to create an AI model, you will find those products end to end on the IO platform. So if you want to create a D app, whatever you need, it'll be there. You don't need to like only take GPU from here, then networking or somewhere else, then decentralized storage from somewhere else. That will not be the case. You will basically find the whole product suite at a single vendor, which is IO going forward.
Love that. Thank you so much for that, Gaurav. And how exciting, guys. There's so much in the vision for IO now. I'm so stoked about it. So thank you so much for sharing that, Gaurav. Tarsif, very similar questions to you, right? Like, you've worked on some of the most exciting partnerships in 2024. Like, we're super thrilled about what we've achieved. Where would you ideally like to see IO by the end of 2025?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's quite a few things I'd like to see us accomplish in the new year. I think the vision is still extremely strong, but a few things that kind of stand out to me and I'd like to see come to fruition in 2025 specifically are, I think, firstly, is around our revenue, right? So I think as most of you have seen, our daily network earnings, total network earnings have continued to grow over the past few months. We've really started to hit our stride with customers and partnerships, and I think by the end of 2025, I can really see sort of our revenue 10xing in 12 months from now. So I think that's something I'd really like to see happen over the next 12 months. I think the other thing is also sort of really on the partnership side, right? I think we've had a really strong pipeline of partnerships. We've had a really strong ecosystem that we've built and put together. I want to see us continue to build on top of the success and have really, really strong integrations and partnerships across across Web 2 and Web 3, whether that's further decentralizing the AI tech stack or whether it's partnering with various DevOps, MLOps, dev tooling type companies that really help sort of make the AI ML dev workflow on ionet even easier. And I think lastly, it really comes down to a broader placement of where ionet sits within the DAI ecosystem, right? So I'd really like to see us become this very foundational layer and nexus within the overall DAI ecosystem and essentially act as a clearinghouse for a variety of different decentralized AI projects and how developers choose to access them and use them, and kind of really enabling all decentralized AI projects to succeed through the foundational layer of ionet as well.
Thank you for that, Tassif. I couldn't agree more. I think you really hit the nail on the head there. There's so many exciting things that we're working on. But guys, our core mission always remains the same. Go for it, Gaurav.
I hope like people can realize, like, I think overall what Tassif's team has achieved is like phenomenal, right? We literally tried to focus on the revenue side just 2.5 months back. And from there, like less than $1 or $2 million of a revenue of like T&E now coming almost like what, how much we are right now, Tassif? 20, 25 plus? How much is it?
Yeah, I think in some of our reports, like publicly, we're at 12 mil, but we'll probably clear the year at 25 mil publicly.
Yeah, so I think within like 3 months, guys, like it's from less than 2 million to like 25 million plus, right? Which is like almost what, 12x. And as Tassif was saying, that the plan is to basically make it a 10x, so like 100, 150, right? So if we reach there, like that will be a phenomenal win for the whole DePIN industry overall. Like people still say that in crypto there are a lot of problems, like a lot of tech which is trying to find a solution, and there's no fit there. And we always fundamentally believe that no, DePIN and AI is an industry which there's a genuine problem, and all the tech can help solve that problem. We literally prove it with data. We are already doing it by showing a revenue and this continuous growth in revenue. But once we reach that number, that'll be phenomenal. I don't think any other player in the market will be remotely close. Like once we reach this 25 plus by the end of the month, we'll already be like, I think the leader there in the market. But once we reach the number which Tassif and Tassif teams are planning, like there'll not be any comparison also. People don't even have the amount of inventory that even if they like hire the whole inventory which they have, they'll still not be able to reach 1/4 of our revenue. That's a place we'll be at, right? So I think awesome,
Yeah.
like really looking forward to it.
No, Gaurav, you made such an incredible point, right? Like, guys, sometimes we're always so focused on the future, like we have to look back, as Steve Jobs said, and connect the dots and see how far we've come. The fact that we've come this far is like shouldn't be underestimated. Like this is one of the most incredible feats this year that I personally, and even if I'm being objective, right, like I've personally seen from any crypto organization. And a lot of you guys who are the OGs, the IONation team, like you've seen how far we've come, right? And we're very transparent about it. You can go on the Explorer page, you can keep tabs on the growth consistently. And Tori shared a really interesting tweet about this. We actually showed the growth, which I know that some of you have interacted with and we're like incredibly excited about. So, the vision is strong. We know who our beachhead customers are. We know what our mission is, and we've stayed true to that, right? And I think that's really what makes the ionet like so special. So thank you so much for sharing that, Gaurav. Very exciting, fantastic. Okay, so we've got another question here about future plans. Gaurav, it's a little bit more on the tech side, so I'm probably going to swing this one to you. But some of the community are asking, like, do we have any plans to build like our own native AI agent besides BCA AI?
So there's always been a discussion around it. I myself had given few options, but in the very near future, I think most probably no. The reason being is like it's my opinion. Like everybody has their own opinion, and respectfully, like everybody can have. But when we talk about AI agents, you're basically speculating that whether my AI agent will be popular, will work well, will really solve a problem, and so on and so forth, right? I can have my own opinion. Somebody in my team can have their own, and like so is the community can they have, right? And if we invest time in creating one of the AI agents of our own, it may work as a product, it may not work as a product. So there's a question mark there. But when we actually introspected as a team, what we realized is that the team which we have and the strength we have is creating platforms, right? That's what we are good at. And we have people from Amazon in the team, we have people from VMware in our team. And our strength is basically creating platforms where people can come and create these AI agents. And once we create that particular platform, that's a default win. Like that would win for sure. So if you create an AI agent, that may work, may not work. But when you create a platform which is like of a seamless use to these AI agents, that particular thing as a product is for sure a win. And that's our strength also, creating such platforms. So that's what we are investing in the near future. Once this baseline product of IO intelligence is done, then in the second piece, we have few interesting ideas where we will create our own AI agents in the future. But for now, we'll stick to our fundamentals, which is creating a scalable platform and empowering these AI companies to build their products rather than venturing into these AI agents for now. But but I think in very near future, in a quarter or so, most probably we'll venture there as well once we have bandwidth and we have achieved our like like goals for the next 3 months.
Yeah, Gaurav, I think you touched on something really interesting, right? And look, guys, we're always going to see new things pop up. We're always going to see AI agents and technology evolving. That's a natural part of this game, right? I think like where ionet has really stood out is like just innovating at an incredibly accelerated pace, right? While staying true to our core mission. And that's what makes it so exciting. So while we venture and test new things, it's because our pace of innovation and our acceleration from the phenomenal tech team that we have is so incredible that we're able to keep tabs on the emerging trends and technologies while simultaneously staying true to who we are. So thank you so much for that, Gaurav. Just on that note, we do have a supporting question. It's also more on the tech side, so I'm just gonna keep you here. A lot of people are asking about M4, right? Like when is it going to be supported? Is it going to be added? Like could you provide any insights at all on the M4 chips?
Yeah, so we actually tested some numbers for it recently, and I think we will add it as a part of inventory, but we haven't decided on the date when. So give us some more time. We'll come back to the date, but the answer is yes. The M4s will be added to the inventory.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that. Tausif, similarly, the community does have questions about the types of partnerships that we want to see in 2025. So naturally, we've stayed very true to generative AI startups in 2024 because there's a lot of like seamless interoperability and understanding about what we're offering and why it's so beneficial. But as we broaden the horizon in 2025, what types of partnerships can we look forward to exploring? Perhaps like industry wise, or if like if you have any sort of vision on that, would be really interesting to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a few different ways that we're thinking about how we're going to approach partnerships in 2025. Obviously, 2024 was a year of kind of really building for us and kind of getting things in order and, really starting kind of building the foundation of what our vision is. So, we've had a number of partnerships this year, but I think now we sort of really have that baseline to go even bigger in 2025. So I think, as I mentioned previously, we want to kind of become this sort of nexus of the decentralized AI ecosystem in 2025, right? Like with us being the largest decentralized compute DePIN out there, we are a natural fit to a lot of the major decentralized AI projects that are trying to build across a variety of sort of sub verticals, right? Like whether you're trying to build decentralized data sets, whether you're trying to do sort of decentralized pre-training, data cleaning, things like that, whether you're trying to build agent frameworks or agent launchpads or marketplaces, I think all of those different types of partners are a natural fit with what we're building here at ionet. And I'm sure some of the biggest sort of decentralized AI players of 2025 probably are fairly unknown right now. I think even in the past 3 months, we've had a number of decentralized AI projects kind of burst onto the scene and kind of grab everyone's attention and really push the envelope forward in terms of the Web3 crypto narrative. So I think we'll see a lot of interesting partners kind of come out in the future as well that will, of course, be working with closely. I think the other thing I also want to mention is around starting to focus on some of the larger enterprise partnerships as well, right? And this could probably take the format of them either being customers or partners, but now I think we're at a point where our platform is battle tested and enterprise ready. So I think now we're a lot more confident in terms of being able to approach larger Web2 brands, larger sort of AI players that are, in the Silicon Valley ecosystem and even beyond sort of like the Web3 space, and essentially offer up our decentralized GPU network as a service to them and essentially start to bring them on board, which, kind of really sort of takes us to the next level of usage and reliability. So I think we'll start to see a lot of large logos kind of come onto our platform in 2025 and start using our platform as well, which will of course present to the community when they're ready. And I think lastly, I'll also mention the different partnerships we can do around sort of various like dev tools, machine learning ops, DevOps type companies that kind of really help improve the developer experience and developer workflow on our platform too. So of course, us at ionet, we're hyper customer focused and really want to ensure that the developers using our platform have the best experience possible and can port over from using any other sort of like Web2 cloud platform of choice over to ionet without sort of disrupting their workflow. So I think we'll also focus on a lot of partnerships to ensure that their experience continues to be great while using ionet.
Yeah, thank you for that, Tarsif. I think there's a lot of really interesting points there, guys, and this is the stuff that, like, if you guys digest this, you'll really understand like how ionet is like breaking beyond what they've achieved in 2024, right, and really what's on the horizon. So thanks for sharing that, Tarsif. I personally feel that, like, as we venture into 2024, the need for DePIN is becoming more and more innate with a lot of the emerging and leading tech organizations, and they're looking for some of the pioneers in this field, right? And with ionet being one of them, like, like the sky's the limit in terms of what we can achieve, not only as customers, as Tarsif said, but also potentially as partners. So that's incredibly exciting, and I'm thrilled for that. With that being said, I'm going to move to Gaurav. We got another question here. Like, when I'm seeing a lot of these questions from the community, they generally are in various clusters, right? So a bunch of you guys asked about the M4s, which we answered. But Gaurav, there's also a question here regarding staking. So, the community is asking, like, is there news about any more staking, any phase 2 staking?
Yeah.
Like, do you have any visibility you can potentially share there?
Yes. So in staking, we're basically launching two products together, and that's one of the reasons it's basically a reason of a delay also than what we wanted to have as a launch date. Hence, there's a delay, and those two products are following, right. One is a very organic product where, let's say, I have H100, I need to stake 2000 IOs to be eligible, but I only have 1000 IOs. So I will go to the marketplace on the IO platform going forward, and we'll create a bid that I need help in 1000 IOs for staking. And as a part of that, I'm willing to share, let's say, 20%, 40%, whatever the number is, of the rewards which I will earn, block reward which I'll earn for the respective help I need from the community. That's one product. But what we realize now is that because of all the good work which is happening and of the token price and the amount of rewards the suppliers are getting, there's a possibility that many of the suppliers may not be willing to participate out there. So hence, for the community benefit, what we did was we created another staking project. This will be one of them, but we created another project wherein we haven't decided the percentage, but there's a percentage of block rewards which we already emit today. Let's say if we emit 3 million IO tokens on a monthly basis, roughly a certain percentage of rewards we will take as a separate bucket from this 3 million, and that we would distribute among the community for the staking they will do. So there will be a staking limit for each wallet, and when people come and from their wallets, when they stake a respective number of IO tokens, from that pool which we will take out from those 3 million from the monthly basis which we give, we will distribute among the community. So it's basically a community staking pool which we'll create as a product, and normal community members can come stake on their wallet. There'll be a limit on each wallet, and they can earn the block rewards percentage from that place. So there are two different products now we will be launching, and because we saw all this good basically reflection of the market for the good work we have done in terms of the token price, we kind of kind of estimated that a lot of suppliers may not be willing to share with the community for the marketplace. Hence, we went with a second product also at the same time to basically make the community also participate and win some part of the staking rewards.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing that, Gaurav. That is incredibly exciting, and not only that, it's amazing to see that we've got a very clear vision in terms of where ionet wants to go with this. So appreciate your insights there.
Basically,
we've got
guys, to be
yeah,
honest,
go for it.
I'll just tell you, right? Anytime we launch any product and we think of creating any product, uh, there's always a discussion around a point of community, that how will the community get help, right? Like say if we create a product and if there's a community member who wants to hire a GPU, how will he get it? What price he can afford, right? Similarly, when we actually create any product for staking, we always think like, okay, well, the normal community members will get benefit out of it, right? So our fundamental value as a company will always be including the community in the rewards which we as a company earn from being in the business, and like we'll continue this work. So if at any time there's any feedback, please feel free to share, because our management takes community very seriously and the health of the community as well.
Yeah, totally, Gaurav. Really echo that sentiment, guys. So thank you for sharing context there. With regards to like some of the other questions I can see, what I would say, guys, is that a lot of the questions that have also been sent in from the community, what I would recommend is that either raise them like A, with the support team, or B, with the astronauts, with the community moderators, because a lot of them are like questions that are very individualistic in nature, right? And typically in these AMAs, we want to focus on questions that appeal to the broad masses, just to ensure that all of you spending your wonderful time here like get the most amount of benefit, right? So with that being said, if we do not answer a question in this particular AMA, like please do feel free to send it in. We're always examining the questions, but we want to also ensure that you get like a very timely response, right? And that will be done by like, in the three channels that I mentioned: astronauts, community moderators, or like raising a support ticket if they're not able to help. And that should get you everything you need. With that being said, we've actually got a question that I'll probably take. It's regarding XP points, right? So a lot of you are asking like, when will the XP rewards be distributed? Like, what's the plan for that? Like, candidly, I think we're going to relook at how the XP program benefits the community, right? One of the things that we've seen is that we want it to be ultimately an XP program that is in line with engagement, is in line with like, of course, like the effort that you guys are putting into the community, right? And with that being said, there should naturally be like a fair distribution of rewards for that. I think we've like tested alongside you guys and the astronauts and the community moderators, like various ways that we can actually bring that benefit to you, but we're still like tinkering with the alignment there, right? So what I would say is that for the future, for 2025, there probably will be some changes on the XP rewards program. I personally would really love for you guys to like share your input, share your expertise about like how you feel you would enjoy like most working with some of the XP programs, right? And we'll like ultimately, if this is for the community, we want to make it as community centric as possible. So that's where we're really going to value your input. Like IO is always going to listen to our community, like build something in alignment with them. So, please feel free to like share your thoughts, feedbacks. We're constantly listening. I would say like delegate a lot of the answers to Letty. Letty's collecting a lot of these responses. Many of you know him on Discord, but feel free to reach out to him because he's collecting a lot of these responses, and that's going to help us like fine tune something that is going to be more in alignment with what you're looking for, and it allows us to bring the most value to you, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. But thank you for raising your questions there. We've got another one here for Tech, Gaurav. So I can see this is from some of the new sort of community members. They're asking, like, in addition to like suppliers, like, does IO have any plan to work with like individuals when it comes to giving them rewards for staking their GPUs?
Yeah, that's what the phase two is. So, in fact, not even the phase two, both the staking phases are. So, in the like one product which I explained is where the supplier, if he needs help, we will create a bid in the marketplace. We're basically creating a staking marketplace where they'll come and create a bid, and whoever helps that supplier, normal community member, they will earn a percentage of block rewards as a part of the bid, which the respective supplier will create. That's one product. And second product would be a percentage of all the block reward will be put in one pool, and a normal community member will come and stake IOs, and they will get a certain percentage of block reward from the central pool, which we'll create going forward. So there are two
Brilliant.
products which will be there to get this output.
Fantastic. Okay, that's super interesting, and I appreciate you sharing that additional context there. So, guys, with that being said, we'll probably take a couple more questions here from the community, and I think we probably would have touched on a lot of like what you guys have been asking. There's a marketing related question, so I'm just going to touch on that very lightly. Some of you were asking, like, is there any plans for any NFT collections or memes for marketing purposes and building stronger communities? I would say more on the meme side, right? Like obviously we are the grown up in the room. We are unlike other Web3 companies, we are building genuine utility, genuine value with a phenomenal product, right? But that's not to say that we lose the Web3 culture. Like we're massively like that's part of our DNA, right? So when it comes to things like memes, like we really encourage the artists amongst you guys to share certain cool and exciting memes. Work with Brad from Phoenix. He's on this AMA as well. Like share things. We like create sticker packs, we create so many cool things, right? And we want to make it fun for you guys to interact with the community, with our tweets, with the tweets of Gaurav, Tarsif, all of the exec team, right? Like we want you guys to interact in the most fun way possible that you like, that is absolutely in line with the Web3 DNA. So yeah, we're looking at memes, from our social media team who's actively working on that. But if you guys are like feeling creative, like absolutely feel free to share some very cool designs. We love them. Like we find them incredibly humorous sometimes. So we love to seeing like how exciting and how creative IO Nation can get. So thank you so much for bringing in that question as well. Let's take one more question from the community because I can see like the bulk of them are answered. But there's a slightly technical one here, Gaurav. Let me know your thoughts on it, or if you should like potentially encourage this person to take this one offline. But it's a technical question, so I'll run it by you. But it's essentially asking, like, when ionet launches public staking, stakers will receive 5% of the block rewards from the workers they stake on. Does this mean that the current block rewards that workers receive will be reduced by 5%, or has it always been set to 95%? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I think so let's take a step back, right? So when we created the network at that time, for other people's context also, which may not have gotten the question fully, is when we created the network, we had both CPUs and GPUs. So we basically decided like what percentage of block rewards on a monthly basis we want to divide on. We want to give it to CPUs and what percentage we want to give it to GPUs. And we decided that 95% of the block rewards will go to GPUs and 5% will go to CPUs. That's what we decided on, right? Going forward, will this percentage can change between GPU and CPU? The answer is it can, First of all, the percentage still can change because right now, predominantly, most of our business comes from GPU, and like GPUs are normally very costly, and like it makes sense if people are taking so much of risk and like their capex, like their main cost of like buying the hardware is so high, and if they're giving it to the network, obviously they should be getting more rewards in proportion. It makes sense, right? But going forward, what's I can disclose you guys that we are basically very soon will be working with one of the very big Web 2 players, which have more than 200, 250 million users. We're working with them, and they basically will be coming to hire CPUs also from our side. And they'll be the first customer of the enterprise grade who will hire CPUs from us. If that particular business model does well in future, there is a possibility that percentage of 95 to 5 could change. There's a possibility. We haven't made a decision on it. Like the network hasn't made a decision on it. But as a business, if the network starts to earn a good enough revenue share from CPUs, at that time, business-wise, it may make sense for the network to change the percentage. But we are not even remotely close to that. So we will keep 95/5 for foreseeable future the way it was in past. That's one, right? Second thing is for the staking question which they've asked, the pool of tokens which we will take out from the central monthly block rewards to distribute for staking to everyone. I think that percentage will be uh, common to everyone, and we'll take the reward from everyone, like all suppliers, in that much percentage, and create a central pool, and then give it to the community for staking, which they'll do. Does it make sense? Or like, did I
Yeah.
clear it? Or like,
No, I think that makes perfect sense. So, thank you so much for sharing that, Gaurav. Like that's exactly like the context that, I believe the community needed, and I definitely resonated with that. So really appreciate your time there. Well, guys, look, that's like the bulk of the questions that you guys have sent in. Like, I hope you enjoyed the AMA and like answering all of the main hot topics that you guys have sent in. That's it for today. Like I said, as always, any like individualistic question, raise it with like the support team, astronauts, or community moderators. But anything that's like for the masses, like please do get your questions in. If you do not have access to the form, please reach out to our CMs or astronauts. They will send you guys a form, and then you can keep these questions coming in. We usually like filter it out and then naturally answer the questions which are in the most in demand, right? So thank you for joining Gaurav. Thank you for joining Tarsif. If you guys have not followed them, please do so. They share some incredible content. You can scroll their feeds, and I'm sure as we enter 2025, there's going to be even more, right? So I do not want you guys to miss it. We also have Hans on the call. We have Maher on the call. These are the IO team, right? So please do give us all a follow. Stay in tune with what we have. We'll be sharing exciting individual updates, and you can interact with all of us. And that way we can stay close to you guys. We can listen to you. And of course, like keep you at the center of our decision making. So thanks, Gaurav. Thanks, Tarsif. Thank you, Iron Nation, for your brilliant questions. And we will see you on the next AMA or Spaces.
thank you.
Thanks, guys.